What's up, friends? I hope you have been having a good day today. So, I'm really excited about this session because I've got a really young and energetic and very intelligent guy who's going to be sharing with us how to get into the tech game, tech role if you're in mid-career. Let's say you don't have any tech background, but and we have read a lot of reports saying that tech is the industry to get in. If you can get a tech role, then your job is secured for the next 5, maybe even 10 years. But I don't have any tech background, so how can I be get in this game? So I am so privileged and so happy that I found someone. He's coming in all the way from Jakarta, Indonesia, and he's going to share with us his experience in developing people to from a non-tech person to a tech person to go into a tech role or even start their own tech business. And from what I hear, he has already helped about 200 people since 2014, if I'm not wrong. Okay, so let's welcome Haidar Hanif. Hi, Haidar.
Yeah, hello Dean.
And
Yeah.
hey, so it's so
Hey,
nice to
hello,
have you
hello.
here all the way from Jakarta. So before I start, let me see.
Mm.
All right, I need to check Facebook, make sure that it's public post. All right, it is. Okay, Hanif, thank you for saying yes to this interview. Not easy to get
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Yeah, yeah,
All right,
yeah. Glad to finally we get to hear. Yeah.
nice. Okay, so guys, Haider calls himself the engineer, educator, and explorer. That's a very interesting labels. So explorer. So let's explore what insight he has for us about making a transition into tech. So Haider, let's
Mm-hmm.
let's get straight into it. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
give us a background of how you have trained people to get into the tech industry.
All right. So currently I'm focusing on creating programs for people to learn and practice about professional coding and programming. So the professional, right? And the topics are mostly web design and web development because as you know, there are a lot of other topics out there and I'm focusing on this. And they can go from beginners to experienced enough to be a job ready workforce in this modern software industry as a
Mm,
web developer and software engineer, right? Although some of them are into product manager and venture builder too. Okay. So yeah,
mm,
it's not just about learning to do it, but actually working with it and making a career, right?
mm,
There were tons of variations that what I did in the training or what I called sometimes mentorship or boot camps.
mm,
And in particular, for the time frame, it can be just in a few days, few weeks, or maybe several months. Then,
uh,
as in the format, um, usually in the past few years, it was mostly offline within a physical room. There were physical rooms, but right now, of course, 100% online is the best move. Yeah.
mm. So, what kind of what are the maybe the most popular training that you do for your students?
Obviously, it was the full stack web development because a lot of people are into that. Because if you are learning full stack web development, you can basically build any web applications out there. If you are
Mm,
aspire to build something like Facebook, Airbnb, Twitter,
mm.
Instagram, and other similar web applications like that, you can do it by learning those stuffs. Yeah.
Okay, so I also want to ask a bit something that came to my mind, data analytics. So data
Mm.
analytics has been like, a lot of people that say, well, I know
Yeah,
you
yeah,
want to
yeah.
get into data analytics. So how, just because I'm a web developer, does that mean that I can do data analytics? What's your take?
Not always.
Mm.
I think I am not even into data analysis and data science. I'm not even into it because I don't have enough time.
Ah,
Just
okay.
because of that reason. But I know some web developers, my friends, and they learn data analysis and data science for serious
Mm.
professional thing. I know some particular person. He's a CTO in a startup,
Mm.
and he learned both web development for the whole thing, for the whole stack, and then also data science. for serious thing, not only for fun, but also for the job.
Because as a startup nowadays, you need data analytics. You need to make sense of data, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that you're saying that, if I want to learn web development, it is one path, and data analytics is another path. It
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
have to
yeah,
cross over, right?
yeah,
So
yeah. It
this is
doesn't have.
something good, so that people who has no tech background, don't know the intricacies of the education of tech,
Mm.
they need to know that these are two different things, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
let's talk about mindset, because I always
Mm.
believe that mindset comes before skill set. So,
Yeah.
what kind of mindset should a mid-career professional? I would say that they are probably in their 30s or 40s. What kind of mindset do these people need to have to successfully make the transition into tech industry?
All right. So yeah, definitely I agree with you. Mindset
Mm,
before skill sets, or maybe both at the same time. I think you have to grow them almost at the same time. Like there is no before and after. Well, it's
mm,
what I think. Maybe sometime. Okay. And the most important one will be being brave to take risks or not afraid to fail. Okay, so that will be sometimes it's called growth mindset, where you
mm,
have to improve your qualities through your efforts over time.
mm,
And because similar to other tech related industries, all learners will be experimenting with a lot of new things every single day over time, right? So it's not only but in a year, but will be several years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. And experimenting also means you are going to fail a lot, right? So you are going to expect that you're going to fail a lot,
mm,
or
mm.
in a better words, learn your lesson. Maybe I don't like to be failing, but we are learning, all right,
So
learning our lesson. Yeah,
don't see failures and things that you cannot do well as an indication that you're not up for this
yeah,
role,
yeah,
but rather
yeah,
as a lesson, right? To
yeah,
keep
yeah,
improving.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, of course. Because you just have to take your time before reaching the success, right?
Mm, 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 mm. So, based on your experience, right? I know you've told me that you train a wide range of experience levels. Students who come,
Mm-hmm.
like some of them already
Mm-hmm.
have some tech background, some totally zero. So,
Mm.
how do you see a pattern? Like, do the different student profiles differ in their mindsets?
For the mindset, yeah, of course. Um, because some of them are just confidence and some of them are just not, or maybe like they are into it and some of them are not into it. Yeah.
Mm. So, do you see like a difference, especially in terms of the age groups? So, I'm
Mm-hmm.
assuming that maybe the younger people are more excited about it, and then
Mm.
they learn faster. And then the
Mm-hmm.
older, when I say older, it could be like 35 and above. They
Yeah.
are more resistant, or what do you see? What have you seen?
Well, I kind of expect since the beginning for the older groups around 30 up to 50. I even teach like someone who was already 55, and it's
So, okay,
expected.
that's a very
Yeah.
good thing.
Yeah.
What is the oldest person you have trained?
Well, I think it was 55. Yeah.
Oh,
It's
wow.
very old.
Okay,
He already has a kid who is already grown up.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were saying, so what was the how do they differ in their mindset across the age groups that you have trained?
Well, yeah, it was expected that they would be struggling a lot when learning new stuff, and I mostly just give them extra intention and help because what they need is simply some support and clues.
Mm,
As most solution actually can be found on the web nowadays, they
yeah.
just need some support. That's it. Yeah, and yeah, that's why I'm there for them to be their mentors. Yeah.
Mm, mm, mm. So do you find like the older age groups, they tend
Mm-hmm.
to rely on you more, and then the younger one tend to just, oh, I can just check all these things on Facebook and YouTube and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes, but I think it's still balanced. Yeah.
Mm,
So there is no like very different kind of request to me. Like I think all of them are requesting the
about the
same
same.
amount. Yeah, the same amount of support. Yeah.
That's great. So that it means that just because you are a little bit senior in age, it
Mhm.
doesn't mean that you are behind the younger people,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You,
yeah.
the needs are about the same, right? That's
Mm,
what you're saying.
mm,
Okay. So I'm sure that there are individuals who have gone through your training, but in the end they could not cope, they drop out, or
mm,
they couldn't they completed your course but
mm,
couldn't get into a tech role.
mm.
What happened here? What usually happens?
Yes, of course. I would expect that too because it happens a lot of times. And as we have discussed, it was mostly about the mindset, the growth mindset. I
Hmm.
think that was the basic one. And obviously, within a short time frame, a regular human being like me cannot just change their uh, several years of mindset. That's the
Yeah.
thing. I think that was the most important issue. But well, there are some other critical factors. There are something like communication skills. They
Hmm.
make able to code, they make able to build stuff, but they cannot communicate well in a team, especially
Hmm.
or maybe like with another person. I know someone who is really young, is very good and he's very fast, but the communication skill is still lacking. And actually, even though that the those type of people are not really that struggling to get a job because some companies are just okay, you have the skills and then you can just join,
Hmm.
because you already proved that there is no need for the best communication skill because
Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
mostly about the tech, right? But it depends on the company itself, and maybe like some of them are expecting too much by various reasons. They want the company like this, like that, like the salary salary too
Okay.
high, or maybe like they want to have the location only in this particular city.
It sounds
Yeah.
very much like people in Singapore.
Yeah, yeah,
I only want to go if it's near my house. If it's anything
yeah,
not
yeah,
near,
yeah,
I
yeah,
wouldn't.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay. Sounds
I,
similar.
I, I think in Singapore is still just one island, so
Yeah,
it's
it's
not a
so
big
small,
deal.
and yet, yeah, and
But
yet
in Indonesia, it's like Indonesia, like Bali to Jakarta is very far. I don't want to move to Bali. I don't want to move to Jakarta from
ah.
Bali, right?
So this is talking
Yeah,
about like moving the whole
yeah,
family, right? Yeah.
moving the whole family. Yeah,
It's
because
not
some
about
companies.
it's not about, oh, it's more than 30 minutes away. I have to
Yeah,
travel.
yeah,
Actually, for you,
yeah, yeah.
probably 1 or 2
It's the
hours away.
yeah, a
Yeah,
whole different islands. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay. So, okay, you spoke about communication skills. Now,
Mm,
for a lot of tech people, they are very concerned about the tech work, the quality of their work, and
mm,
I don't know, it's usually the impression that they are very introverted, they don't talk to people,
mhm,
or they're really
mm,
bad in communication. So, can you share
mm,
with us now? You were in a tech role, and then now you became a trainer where communication is
mhm.
so important.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
looking back in your journey, what kind of communication skills should or would be good for a tech person, please?
For a tech person, actually, for me and for my students, mostly it's about the written communication skills. That will be the most important. Uh,
Okay.
if you are not capable of talking with people, I think it's still tolerable. It's still
Okay.
fine. But writing is the most important one. Because coding is about writing, programming is about writing, and you have to
Mm.
write really good so that not only the computer can understand, but the other human can understand because you are working in a team mostly. You are not working
Mm.
alone. Yeah,
But
and that.
this is a coding language, so it's very different from our spoken language, right, or
Yeah,
written
yeah,
language.
yeah,
So that, of course, you have to be good because that's your role, that's your job to do
yeah.
it.
Mm,
But what about interpersonal communication? So now you're saying
mm,
that the written one, because maybe we talk on chat or we talk on email a lot more.
mm,
So
mm,
that's very important.
mhm,
So how can how can someone who's transitioning into a tech role
mm,
make sure that they have enough of these communication skills? What do you think?
quite tricky because what I saw is that because I tend to let them to take their time to hone their communication skills, and for the
Mm,
particular interpersonal skills,
mm,
I think it's about delegating or something, or maybe like transferring knowledge, actually transferring knowledge, like you already have been working on this and you already met this, you just have to tell the other person in your team that
mm,
you already met this and you want to expect them to do something other than you already made, like something like that. So you
mm,
don't get to get conflict, like you are working on A
mm.
but they are working on A, that will be a conflict, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Unless you are working together in one particular feature. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, in a team, right? Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So, can you think of any other transferable skills? I mean, communication is important in
Mm,
any role,
mm,
actually,
mm,
but any other transferable skill that will be very useful in a tech role, so that
mm,
people who are watching this, if they
mm.
have those transferable skills and they want to get into tech role, they're like, oh, okay, I'm not starting from zero, right? So,
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So, what are some of these transferable skills you think?
Wow, quite a tricky. This is a new question. I haven't
Yes.
I haven't asked about this. Hmm.
Don't
So
worry, just whatever
transfer.
that comes to your
Yeah,
mind.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because let's see, because some people in other industry, I think we got to get an example from someone like accounting background. I know some of my students are from accounting background, they don't have any tech background. It's very different, right? Accounting and tech is very
Yeah.
very far. And what they are good at is about repeating something. And yeah, I mean like following the process, following
Mm,
the process. If you are good into the following the process, you read a lot, like even like for the literacy students or the
mm,
copywriters, even though that they cannot really code yet and they want to transfer their skills, their existing skill into tech, that will be like following the orders and then reading carefully, like for the guidance and documentation.
mm.
I think that will be the most relevant transferable skills, because I think for all of the jobs out there require you to read a lot, like read the guide, read the documentation, read the direction, right?
So you must
Even that,
actually like reading
yeah,
or don't
reading,
find it a hassle,
reading.
right?
That's
Yeah.
transferable, and you won't be starting from zero. Yeah,
Mm, mm.
if you
And
are not,
also,
yeah,
I hear you say that you need to have an attention to details because you need to
yeah,
follow the
that's on the details.
instructions. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Okay. Okay. And you were saying something. Do you want to continue?
Well, unfortunately, if you are not enjoying reading, it will be very difficult and very challenging. It's an obvious one.
I don't know. I think that you mentioned about growth mindset. I think reading
Mm,
is part of growth mindset because
yeah,
that's how you learn more, right? By reading,
yeah,
right? You
yeah,
can only you can't always be attending webinar or hoping that
yeah,
someone
yeah, yeah,
gives you the education. Yeah, you have to read a
yeah,
lot. Yeah.
yeah,
So friends, if you are thinking of transitioning to tech, you have to love reading.
yeah.
Sometimes the things that we read may not be so exciting, but the fact that you know how to read and read scheme and and all that reading skills, so make sure you have it before you even think about moving
Yes,
into this role, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Haida, you specialize in web development. I
Mm,
know that web development, there are a few different tech languages, maybe. Okay, I'm one of those person with no tech background, right? So I don't know what I'm talking
mm,
about. So maybe
mm,
tech, maybe some different languages or some different tech skills. So,
mm,
in your opinion, what is the most important today? Which
mm.
tech skills are the most important today?
Oh, I see. You mean the particular tech stack, right? The
Yeah, yeah.
technology
What is
itself.
what is
Okay.
yeah? Because even when you
Hmm.
say tech stack, I don't really get it. So maybe you want to
Oh, yeah, yeah,
explain
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. I kind of forgot that, okay, stack is not a very common term. So stack is basically a group of tools or technologies
Mm,
that you need to use. All right.
mm,
So stack is a kind of a short word for that. And that will be if you are a beginner, and if you are enjoying, like enjoying website, enjoying web application, you are enjoying social media, Facebook, Instagram,
mm,
YouTube, and
mm, mm,
every other websites like that. And that will be web development, right? And
mm,
um, actually there are a lot of prerequisite sets for my training. But if you are going into it directly, it will be like learning HTML, the hypertext markup language, and
mm,
CSS, cascading style sheets, and then JavaScript. And
mm,
JavaScript is one name language. It's
mm,
not a. abbreviation. Yeah, that will
Mm.
be like the three languages that you have to learn to in order to build a website. There are a lot of tutorials out there, and you can get it from YouTube and
So,
other websites. Yeah,
so you're saying that these are the three basic skills
very
you
basic skill.
must have before you even like go and look for a job or start a company on this. Is that
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Now,
That will be the most.
very interestingly, Pamela Wigglesworth has a question, so let me pose that
Hmm.
question here. Based on the training
Hmm.
that you do, Haida, what
Mm-hmm.
type of jobs are people likely to obtain? And I know that you have helped people get into
Yep.
some tech roles. Yeah.
Mm. Mm. Well, mostly we can say that the web developer job, the most important and the most attainable job that they can get
Mm,
after the graduation, after they are finishing the training as a web developer. And actually, web developer itself has many other options, like like too many, I think. Like there
uh,
are like front end or client side web developer, and then back end or server side web developer, or maybe like what is it, uh and maybe like mostly focusing on the web design as
mm.
in web developer, but mostly focusing only the web design itself, the design,
So
the user
it's very
interfaces.
niche. It's very
Yeah, yeah,
specialized on that.
some
Yeah.
specialization.
Yeah.
And then there's also the Superman type, which is the full stack, because as I mentioned, the stack is the all the tools, right? And the full stack means that you get to understand and able to be the whole uh, types of developers,
Mm,
like front end, back end, and other developers, so that that some people say that it's a full stack developer. And
mm,
then there's also the actually it's still relevant to web developer, but some people would like to be called a software engineer,
uh,
because maybe that's about the term, because they don't like about I don't want to only focus on web, but I want to focus on the whole software stuff. Yeah, so
mm,
it can be transferable from the web into desktop, and web into mobile, and web into even robots and IoT, Internet of Things. Yeah, it's
mm,
transferable. Web technologies are really transferable. That's why I really encourage and suggest people to learn from web development other than starting from mobile. Because if you're starting from mobile developer, because uh what I train is not mostly about mobile, but I train mostly for about the web. And
mm,
after they understand the web, they can go into mobile easier than starting from mobile and then going to web, because there are a
mm.
lot of things to learn in the web. Yeah, in the web technologies. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yeah.
I another thought that just came to my mind. I
Mhm.
know that now UI UX is a very important discipline.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it is also tech. It's very related to tech,
Mm,
but it may
mm,
not be tech
yep.
also because I've gone
Mm,
for some lessons on UI and UX.
mm,
So uh, so for people out there, friends who
mhm.
are thinking about, oh, maybe I should go into UI UX.
Yeah.
What's your thought on it? And are they very different from web development? Like they are different path, or
Mm,
do they need web development to be able to do UI UX well?
mhm.
By the way,
Uh,
UI means user interface and
yes.
UX means user experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And there are a lot of opinions about that.
Mm,
I would see that uh, it they are two different things actually, but they are cross discipline. So if you're learning UI UX but you don't understand about web development of coding and programming, you will get behind or something. Although that not every UI UX designers are learning to code, but there are, because there are a lot of opinions about this. Yeah,
mm.
there are
So what's
two different
your
things.
take? What's your take on this?
I will integrate that and then just cross them together.
Uh,
Because if you are a web developer but you don't understand about UI UX design, it will be very difficult to implement the front end stuff, the one that you can see, the one that the users, the customer can see. If you are accessing Facebook.com, uh,
mm,
you will see the result of the work from web developer and UI UX designer,
that's
both.
right. Mm,
Uh,
mm, mm. So they need to have a sense of what the UI UX person is trying to tell them to do,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So let's go back to the person who
Mm,
is
mm,
thinking of doing the transition mid-career. Now, I will assume that they are currently working in a job, and then now
mm,
they are making an effort, like going for a training to
mm,
move to a tech role. So,
mm,
based on your understanding of your trainees, uh, how can they manage their time and energy because they
mm.
have a full-time job and maybe family to take
Yeah,
care of? So some advice, please.
yeah. Okay. And this will be the trickiest, also the tricky question because each person has different circumstances. They have
Mm,
different kind of styles on learning, right? And
mm,
some have different ambitions and time expectation.
mm,
Some can transition within 3 to 6 months, but
mm,
some within 1 to 2 years or maybe
mm,
more. But either one is totally okay because you just need to take your time. Uh, if
mm,
so, so if you are struggling in the first 3 months, I think it's
mm.
still okay. But if you're struggling for 12 years, that will be something wrong. So
Okay.
I won't be like expect too much. Okay, you just learn and then it's okay. 5 years of learning, but you are not going anywhere. You cannot you cannot blame something or someone about for
Mm,
that. Yeah, and for the best ways for the ones who are still working right now, it's about spending time. Yeah, allocating your time to learn and practice every day, every single day,
mm.
not just every week or every month. Every
Ah,
single day. If we want to transition, if it's just a hobby, it's fine. Take your time anytime you want. But if
mm,
you want to transition, spend your time and practice every day. 1 hour to 2 hours on weekdays, Monday to Friday, before or after work. You can do it in the morning. You can do it in the evening, and on weekends, 5 to 10 hours at least. If you want to transition, at least in the within 3 to 6 months, not
ah.
2 years or 5 years, right? Except that if you want to transition 5 years later, that will be
Okay, now tech and 5 years, that's like a lifetime, right? So by the time
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
get everything done in 5 years, the industry
Mm.
would have moved on, isn't it?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why. That's
So,
why.
so what you're saying is that um, how fast you transition depends on how much commitment you can give. So if you
Yeah,
cannot give a
yeah,
lot of commitment, then you need to manage your expectation on how fast you can move over. So, but then you're
yeah,
also
yeah.
saying that if you really want to move over, you must put in the time and energy to practice. And I
Yes, of course.
totally believe and support you saying that if you're serious about it, it has to be a daily practice. Even if it
Yes,
is just
daily
for a short
practice.
while, it has to be
Yeah.
daily. True?
Mm. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Very true.
Okay. Um, Now, let's say I've done the training. I'm ready
Mm,
to take on a tech role.
mm,
Uh, because I'm doing a mid-career switch, do I
mm,
need to make an extra effort to convince potential employers that I'm good enough?
mm,
What's the mindset and what should I do to convince my employers or prospective
mm.
employers?
Yeah, fortunately, it's kind of simple. It's not that tricky.
Okay.
Although that in majority, it mostly depends on the culture of the each company that you are applying to. Okay,
Mm,
and the best thing about tech and software industry today is that the most important convincing factor is your portfolio, the result of your practice. Okay,
mm,
so you just have to try and maximize to build more portfolios both in quantity and quality. So not only like 10 different portfolios, 10 different websites, 10 different applications, but they are sucks. So you just have to
okay.
make sure that the quality is enough. It can be simple but maybe not too bad. Yeah, uh, yeah,
Mm,
good enough, and the quantity is enough. Some people choose to build like at least three flagship, very high quality projects, very high quality portfolios, and they can get a job easily. I even like I'm more into that actually. I'm not into more quantity but more quality because I have like 100 quantity, but I only show like only about five or maybe 10
ah,
to the employer. Yeah, or maybe like the clients. Yeah. So because
so
the 90% are not really. Yeah.
Marvin Yo has a very interesting comment. It's simple, not that tricky. Okay. So what he's reiterating that, it is actually straightforward. You just build a
Mm,
portfolio. But the
Yeah, yeah.
portfolio, I mean, I think in any type of portfolio, you always put your best, and you always must, the portfolio must show the range of skills that you can offer
Mm,
to the employer, right?
mm,
The role that you're bringing in. Okay, that's awesome. Okay,
mhm,
let's get to the not so nice part. So I always believe that the grass is really not. Is it
mhm,
really greener on the other side? I'm questioning, right? So can you
mhm.
share some of the more of the pitfalls or some of the negative aspects of being in a tech role, or when a person transition into a tech role? What would be some of the things, some of the pitfalls that we can look out for?
Okay. Some people may already think that okay, tech is really looks green there,
Mm,
and I see from here in my industry is not really that good. Yeah, you know, and then you want to move. And the last piece of advice will be about managing your expectation. I think,
okay.
because you have to keep the pace with the rapid updates. There are a lot of things
Mm,
updating almost every single day. You have to
mm,
follow that. If you cannot follow, I think it's still okay, but you will be obsolete. Your knowledge
very fast, yeah.
for yeah for this year will be obsolete in the next year, or maybe transferable, but not really that effective anymore. Yeah, so you
Mm,
will have to adapt almost every day, not just once a year. Yeah, in other
okay.
industries like once a year, right? But in tech,
Mm,
it will be like you have to keep following the updates. That will be the pitfalls that some people are falling into that. They cannot follow, or maybe like they just overwhelmed with the information, right? So you have to manage
mm,
your expectation and how to manage your knowledge, how to manage the flow of information to you. Yeah,
mm,
you have to pick. That's why I won't recommend for some people, for most people, I won't recommend to follow all of the things. At least only the things that you are really interested in, right?
mm.
Because there are a lot of other small stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be distracting. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
Mm.
basically, you're also saying that when you have the interest and you have the passion for it,
Yeah.
keeping up is not going to be such a problem. But if
Yeah.
you go into the tech role simply because everyone is saying it's good, but
Mhm.
you're not
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
excited about it, then it's really going to be a burden,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So lastly, to summarize everything, how do we know if someone
Mm.
out there is like, oh, I'm thinking of going to tech, how does
Mm.
he or she know that we are cut up for a job in tech? What must we
Mhm.
consider?
Hmm. Yeah, because each person has different reasons, and I think will be the goal that you want to that you want to achieve. So if you are enjoying the software development, the web development, the technical stuff, the design stuff, then it can be for you. If you are enjoying that, just feel yourself. Like it doesn't have to be logical. That oh, I
Mm,
really enjoy this. I really like to see this result from scratch,
mm,
from blank screen up to this point. Like if you enjoy that, then it will be for you. Yeah, so you don't have to be very good. As long as you enjoy it, you can be better every single day.
mm.
Yeah.
So it all boils down to you must enjoy the tech
Yeah.
role. You must
Enjoy.
enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
If you enjoy it, everything else will somehow fall in place, right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Haida, you have shared so much insights. It's
Yeah.
brilliant. Uh, we have learned so much. So
Mm.
people, I know you might want to reach out to Haida. So if you ever want to reach out, go to
Hmm.
his website,
Yeah.
mhaidarhanif.com.
Hanif.com.
Haida, before we go, any last points or any last words that you want to say to our friends who are thinking of going into a tech role?
Mm. Well, so, so uh, I have some different options to say for the last piece of the but I think it would comes to this one. Enjoy the fun, enjoy the journey.
Enjoy the journey.
If you are getting started, enjoy. If you are in the middle, enjoy that. Just have fun with it, because I think for me tech is very fun. You got to learn every single day new things coming to you,
Mm,
and sometimes it's overwhelming, but sometimes
mhm.
it's very fun. I really enjoy that. So have fun, everyone. Have fun, friends. If you are spending your time and enjoying it, I believe that you can make the transition, or maybe you get to do build something that really matters to you. Yeah.
Okay, so friends, with that, thank you for watching. And if you find this very useful, if you know someone who
Yeah.
is considering going into tech, so do share this video with that person and share it on your timeline. Uh, Also, if you know someone as intelligent as Haida and who has a lot of insights to offer to people,
Mm, mm,
please connect them to me because I would love to get them on my show,
mm,
Insights with Insurance. And
mm.
for now, have a great day ahead. So, goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye.
That's it.